guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing the best and worst affordable / drugstore foundations. Now I have really oily skin. The worst. And also, not just that, but I was also blessed with huge pores. So I'm not a quitter, and I also don't like wasting things. So I feel like when I buy a foundation, I like to kind of at least get halfway through it before I buy another one. I don't know, it's weird. I mean, and you wouldn't believe that because I have 12 of them. But keep in mind, some of these foundations I've had for years. But yeah, so I guess let's just get started. The very first one that I'm going to be talking about, to me, is the worst. It's honestly like, it's just bad. Now, all these opinions that I'm going to have about these foundations are my opinion and my opinion only. Now, everyone's skin is different, so what might not work for me might have worked for you, or vice versa. Okay, let's get started with the very first foundation. The NYX Stay Matte But Not Flat foundation. Now, this foundation to me is the absolute worst for me. Now, I got this foundation. I love NYX. I love that they're affordable. I love all their products. I mean, there's obviously a few hit and misses, but like for the most part, I love their products. So when I saw this, I was like, yes, you know, like it speaks to me. I want to be matte, but I don't want to be flat, you know, like this was like meant for me. So I got it. I was very excited. It did nothing, like nothing for me. It's not full coverage. It's almost not even medium coverage because I did have to go on like kind of build it up, which is fine. Like I don't mind, you know, building it up where I do need some foundation, and like sometimes I want to be a little bit light, so it's fine, you know. So I put this on, I put my setting powder, my setting spray, everything's fine. Within an hour, like an hour, my face is oily AF. Now if this would have been like a foundation, just a regular foundation that didn't claim to be matte, I would have been okay with it because it would have been like, well, it didn't promise me anything, but you promised me to be matte, all right? And I was not matte. I wasn't even flat because I was just so oily. So this to me is a no. The second one. Now this foundation I bought because a makeup artist from where I'm from posted about it, and she was saying that this was like so great. It was almost like the MAC foundation, and that it was just like half the price. She just like raved about it. So I was like, yeah, I need that for sure. And that is another NYX product, and it's the HD Studio Photogenic Foundation. Now, this I can't be super mad at because it didn't claim to be matte. So I kind of was expecting it to not be mattifying, but she raved about how smooth her skin looked and how great it felt and blah, blah, blah. Now, I get it, you know, I don't have perfect skin. Maybe she does have perfect skin. So this to me just was, I mean, I still use it because I think this is like the darkest shade I have in like any of my foundations. So this is something that I mix in with one that I do like, just so that way I can get a little bit more color. It's not bad, but it's just not something that I would like originally just gravitate to. But I will say that this foundation with the next one that I'm going to be talking about do make me look flawless. Not matte, but flawless. And that foundation that goes really well with that one is the Matte and Poreless from Maybelline, the Fit Me foundation. So this foundation, I love the original Fit Me foundation. That one was like my favorite of all times. I ran out of it. I didn't repurchase it because I bought this one. So this was also very hyped about. All of these foundations I bought because beauty gurus like hyped about them, and I was like, yes, I need them. But yeah, so this was supposed to be matte and poreless. It is not poreless. If anything, it accentuates my pores. Like, you can see them from space. It just sinks into my pores. And I use the primer that I use with other foundations. Like, I don't really have a lot of different primers, so I know that's not the issue. I mean, maybe I need to use a stronger pore primer, but anyway, it doesn't say use with caution or a primer. But yeah, so the poreless part, not good, not right. If you hear that, that's my dog. So she's right outside the door playing with her toy. I apologize. Don't judge me. Leave her alone. Let her be. Okay, also the matte. It is matte. That I will give it to them. It is matte, but it's a cracky kind of matte. Like, as soon as I put it on, it's like too matte. I don't know how to explain it, which I know it sounds stupid because So I know it sounds stupid because you're like, well, you're oily, you know, you want to be matte, you want to do this, you want to do that. Yes, it's true, I do, but I also want it to look like my skin. Like, I want to scam people. I want people to be like, wow, she has great skin. And this, like, just automatically off the bat, they can tell that it's not my skin. So for that, the fourth foundation that I'm going to be talking about, it's the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. And this foundation, it didn't give me flashback. I tried it, it's fine, but I did get a shade too dark, so I feel like maybe I didn't judge it properly because it wasn't my shade. But I mean, it was a whatever foundation. It's not like the best thing ever, it's also not the worst. It was just like meh. Now this foundation I've had for years. I think I've had this foundation for over like 5 years. I don't really remember, but I think I've had this like in college. I don't know. I remember buying it a long time ago. So this is the CoverGirl Outlast Stay Fabulous 3-in-1. Now this foundation I do like it. I love that it has SPF in it. I love that. And it's not bad. It's really not. It doesn't make me super oily. It doesn't make me mad. It's just like, it's just a good foundation. If you can see, a little bit does go a long way. I've had this for years and I'm barely up to like right there. Now, I'm not someone to like super pack on foundation because I don't want to look cakey sometimes. So on most days I go very light on my foundation and like I'll go ham on my concealer, which I guess it's kind of the same thing or worse. It's a 3-in-1, so it's foundation, sunscreen, and SPF. Now it has one word that I don't want to try to pronounce because I can't. So let's just not. Ensulas. Yeah, it has sunscreen. This foundation I bought, I want to say also over 5 years ago. These are probably the 2 out of the 3 of the oldest foundations I have. Now this foundation I got because when it came out, people were kind of like, whoa, this is so cool, it's so different. Meh. And I bought it, I hated it. I didn't throw it away because I don't like to throw that away. Now I'm pretty sure all of these are maybe expired, but honestly I still wear them. They're fine, whatever. So I hated it. I put it away. I didn't grab it for a long time till maybe about last year. I just kind of randomly pulled it out and I loved it. Like, it's super lightweight. It didn't sink in like my cracks or my pores. It was just kind of like your natural skin but slightly better. It didn't make me super oily, but I mean, I get oily regardless, even if like the foundation is mattifying. And that is the L'Oreal Magic Nude Liquid Powder Foundation. Now, this foundation, I haven't even seen it in the stores anymore. I know they still sell it because I tried looking online because I was like, what am I going to do when I run out of this one? So I looked online and they do sell it, and they have more shades now, I believe, than when I first bought this. I mean, this is still my shade, but there's like a lot more shades just in case if you ever did like it and they don't have your shade. But yeah, so this one's like it is kind of magic. It's very weird. I love putting it on. Now, I do find it better to put it on with your fingers because since it's supposed to be a liquid to powder, if I used my blender, I feel like the blender sucks it in more. Like, I don't get as much out of it if I use the foundation because I feel like it sticks to the beauty blender. So I like using my fingers with this one. I'll like rub it in and then I'll kind of go in with the beauty blender. So it comes out as, it's super liquidy, like super, 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 super watery. And like, as soon as you put it on, the consistency of it feels like powder. It's so weird. I don't know what kind of magic they're doing, but it worked for this and I'm here for it. I like it. So this is like a very, 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 very light foundation. So this is more for like when you don't want to look like trash, but you also don't want to look like you tried too hard. And it also has SPF 18. So, I mean, honestly, I feel like this is a great just kind of like summer foundation if you're just kind of going to the park or like Six Flags or like to the beach and you want to wear foundation. I don't, but if you do, this would be a good one for it. So the next one is the one I'm wearing right now. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. I feel like I'm saying that with every foundation. I feel like so many people raved about this. Like almost every beauty guru that I follow talked about this. So I bought it. It worked great. I loved it. But I mean, I kind of don't have any complaints about it. But it's just, it doesn't wow me. Like it doesn't make me say, dang, that's a great foundation. It's just like, it's a good foundation. And that is the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation plus concealer. So when I saw that, I figured maybe that I wouldn't have to use as much concealer like under my eyes and like dark spots, but I feel like I still do. I mean, it's just a foundation. It's not full coverage. It is medium, but it is really buildable. So if you want to try it out, you won't regret it because it is good. But I would rather spend my money on another one than this. But I mean, another one of, this is my last, this is the third of the oldest that I have. And this foundation, I love how my skin looks with it. But it is luminous, so it's more of a winter foundation. It's a foundation that I'll wear maybe when I know I'm not going to be like sweaty or going outside or, you know, trying to stay away from everything that makes me oily. And that is the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Healthy Luminous Makeup. And it also has SPF 20. So this foundation I love. I honestly, like, I feel like it makes my skin look super good. Maybe not like flawless, as in like it doesn't have any imperfections, but it does look very smooth. Like it looks like it blends in with my skin, like it just kind of like sucks it in and just becomes one. But I mean, honestly, it's great. If it wasn't luminous, I feel like maybe it wouldn't work because I feel like sometimes whenever you want to look natural, you need a little bit of glow because your skin is naturally glowy and it makes it look healthy. But it's not something that I would personally wear in the summer because I know that as soon as I get sweaty, it's just like whoosh. But I mean, if it's for like the winter or somewhere that I know that I'm gonna be indoors with like AC blasting in my face, like no heat whatsoever, it's perfect. It's great. I love it. It's fine. Moving on. So the next one that I have, now these next two, I feel like they're tied for different reasons. Let's do another L'Oreal, and this is the Infallible Pro Matte Foundation. Now this foundation, I do love. I do like it. I have repurchased in different shades. And it's probably one that I would repurchase as soon as like I finish my shade. But I mean, I feel like this is a foundation that I would mix maybe with the luminous if I am gonna maybe go out in the heat or when I know that I'm gonna get a little bit more oily, because this is mattifying. It's great, but I feel like if I use it all over my skin, it just gets kind of cakey and just, it's not perfect. It's not what I would like. So I feel like if I put this like on my T-zone and like the luminous skin like everywhere else, it works great. It's magic. I love it. I mean, they rave about it for a reason. So this is one foundation that I do recommend. It is very, I mean, it does what it says it's gonna do, the Pro Matte. So now the primer, the Pro Matte primer is trash. Don't even waste your money on that. It did nothing, like nothing. And I've tried them together. I've tried it with other foundations. It's trash. Don't buy it. Don't do it. Just skip that. This foundation, do it, because it is great. This is the CoverGirl Healthy Elixir. This is kind of one of my newest foundations that I've had. I've used it multiple times, and every time that I use it, my skin does look healthy. It does look glowy. It does look like it's better than it really is, but it's not mattifying, which I guess is not really bad, because either way I get oily even with the mattifying one. So I don't know, it is buildable, but you just kind of have to work fast with it because it does dry down fast, and once it dries, it sticks to your beauty blender. The very last foundation that I'm going to be talking about is my number one, the best, fantastic, I love it, have zero complaints about it. It's just, honestly, it's great. It is the foundation that I'm gravitating to the most. And honestly, when I bought it and I tried it out, I was kind of bamboozled because it's kind of the opposite of what it says. But then once it like settles in and dries, it's like perfection. And that is the CoverGirl Clean Matte Foundation. Now, the only complaint that I would say is that it doesn't have SPF, but I guess if it would have SPF, it wouldn't be matte. I feel like sunscreen is very oily and it gives you flashbacks, so I understand why like not a lot of foundations might add it to their stuff, but I mean, honestly, if it had SPF, I would like, this would be like hands down 10s across the board. Throughout the day, you will stay matte. I feel like this is more mattifying than my Pro Matte, and it's kind of a healthier looking matte because it doesn't like super dry me down. It's not cracky. It just makes me look not oily, but I still kind of have some sort of glow. Alright guys, so thank you for sticking around for my whole review, which I'm pretty sure maybe it wasn't the great because I kept saying that I didn't love it or I didn't hate it. But those are just my opinion, and my skin might be very different from yours. Again, I'm just going to say that. Don't hold me reliable for any of this that I'm saying. And if you go out and buy it and then you hate it, don't come for me. But thanks for watching. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you comment down below if you do have one of those foundations that I have and you disagree with me or you agree with me. Either way, let me know. And yeah, so thanks. Bye.